This is Brianna Latrise from Growing Up Hip Hop, and you're watching In Style Atlanta.
So welcome to In Style Atlanta. I'm excited about this interview because I have been watching for a very long time of Growing Up Hip Hop. And you are actually one of my favorite characters because you are just so authentic. You are just you, you're true to yourself, and you're true to your friends on the show. So you've been one of the longest cast members on this show. You are also an artist, a painter, a singer, a mom, an entrepreneur, a stepmom to very big R&B sensation, Mary J. Blige. However, I came across a live recently of yours where you said that you actually were not interested really being on the show. Can you tell us what that was about, why you felt that way, and how you eventually became a member of the show?
Yeah, I don't really watch reality TV. I still don't, and I'm on a show. I mean, I see it every now and then, but it's hard to watch actually, just because of the way editing works. I'm a stickler for I was there and I feel like I could have edited it better. That's just me as a creative. I took no interest in being on the show because Bad Girls Club someone had tried to put me on Bad Girls Club some many moons ago. And at the time I was like, are you dumb? I'm not going to jail on TV.
Right.
You're going to put me in a room with a bunch of ornery bitches and a bunch of alcohol and you think I'm not going to catch a case. I don't want to do that shit publicly. I need plausible deniability. So no. So that whole concept was out. And I told my friend, Mr. Ray, who wanted me to go on the show, I was like, look, I'll go to the meeting, but I won't be on the show. However, me being myself in the meeting, thinking that they were going to be like, oh, this bitch she's too much. We can't handle her. Had no idea that's exactly what they were looking for. Mm-hmm. So, also the light bill was due. And when they told me how much they were going to pay me and I only needed to stay an hour, I was like, that's easy money, bitch. I don't say no to free money.
Okay. You got to make sure the light stays on.
I had no idea it was going to turn into this multiple years of me doing this. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know it was going to be as painful, as enlightening, as stressful, as fun, as I didn't know it was going to be any of these things. I really thought I was just going to show up for 2 hours, get my money, pay my light bill, and get on
your life. Right.
Yeah.
So like I said, you are a cast member on Growing Up Hip Hop, but now you have evolved to now being somewhat like the host when kind of giving a synopsis of the previous episode. Can you tell us how that opportunity came about?
I'm real good with my words. And I guess, at one point someone on the back end in production had called me and been like, yo, you'd be really good at hosting a TV show. And I was like, yeah, duh.
Duh, why haven't you put me on already?
So, and then literally they were like, hey, it was the pandemic, because everything was shut down and nobody could really film. I, who has technical abilities, I went to school for sound engineering, so I know how to mic myself. I know how to edit audio if need be. I also am a photographer and videographer, so I can film myself, and I had a camera.
So you had everything already. You had everything.
All the tools. So basically they were like, shit, she could film herself, which is how I ended up hosting with Twist during the pandemic. And then it evolved into me just sitting there holding it's so funny. If you watch the season, I had been in a car accident. So my shoulder was hanging off my body. And I was like, blah, 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 with just this good hand. And I couldn't comb my hair properly. It was a struggle, baby. People don't understand what kind of things you go through just to do your job.
Yes, the sacrifices that we definitely make, especially being in the entertainment business. Well, I'm glad you are okay since your accident.
Thank you.
Since Growing Up Hip Hop has aired in 2016, when the show first started or when you first came on to the cast, did you expect it to last for 6 seasons? And here we are 6 years later and people are still intrigued, still engaged like myself, watching it every week when you guys come out with a new season?
I don't think I ever really thought about the longevity of the show. I think I more was concerned with my longevity on the show. Okay. I was very disgruntled the first few seasons that I participated because while I did agree to play a role, I had no idea the consequences of agreeing that. So realistically, at the time when I started, I was studying yoga heavy. So like to the point where I was doing headstands. Okay. Like legit, wow. I was vegan. I was really living my best life, hiking all the time. But that life is not conducive with the role that I was playing. So it sent me a little bit, because at home I was one person, on TV I'm another person. And my dad, everybody that knows me and loves me is like, yo, the fuck, excuse my French, what are you going through? Like, yo, you gotta get it together. You can't be two people.
Right. You gotta be true to who
because I snapped eventually and chose the easy route, which was fuck you, nigga, what's up?
I'm Briana Latrise and don't play with me, okay?
Period. And then after a while of your patience and your principles being tested so religiously, you know what I mean? You just develop this whole, I just developed a whole look. I never really liked people to begin with anyway, and I don't trust you bitches as far as I can throw some of you fat asses. Hello. So what's up? I'm gonna show up, get my check, talk my shit, and if you got a problem, you should have texted me like I told you to when I started the show. After that, it's all out. Okay.
So let's get into a little bit of the drama on the show. So at the end of season 5, you and Egypt, you guys had a disagreement, which unfortunately led to some violence.
We didn't have a disagreement. I just wanted to clarify. We didn't have a disagreement. We didn't have anything.
With you. I'm sorry.
She had an issue and couldn't articulate herself like educated people.
Exactly. Since then, have you spoken to her? Have you guys tried to mend your relationship, your friendship, or you just okay with the space that you guys are in?
I did speak to her once. I called her one day. Me and my friend were sitting here watching the show, and I was able to actually see what her issue was with me. And for me, I personally felt like, girl, you blew that shit up in your head. You were upset about tweeting, but you forgot that the show tells you to tweet. That's why I don't tweet anymore. And I'm quick to tell them when they be like, could you? No, absolutely not. Because I'm not like the rest of them. And I have somebody, I have shit to lose. No. I will talk my shit when and how and where I choose. But with Egypt, she was upset about a couple tweets, I guess. And then, I'm a clown Sam. I have respect for Egypt and her family. Well, I had respect for Egypt. I don't know where we stand now. But I loved her the way I would love any young woman that comes into my life.
You treated her like a little sister. Right?
I do. I treat you like my little sister or my niece. I will fight for you. I was almost about to fight 2 grown Mexican men one day because one of them said something. I was like, yo, watch your mouth. That's a child. And they wanted to get started in production. I was like, what the fuck, Brianna did? Whatever. Pep and I were close at one point. So, and my dad knows Tretch. My dad, all of this is because of Sam.
Right.
Every single bit of this is pure and simply because of Sam. And people forget, like, he was running his mouth talking about I tried to push up on him. He said TT was in love with him. Like all of this drama started based on a bunch of lies he told because he's insecure in himself and doesn't know how to keep himself a part of the show because he wants fame. We're very different people. I want money.
Hotel.
You want to be popular.
We're not the same. Look.
We ain't even built the same.
At all. Well, this past week, we saw a fight between Savannah, Sequoia, and Cree. You were minding your business during this party. It was supposed to be celebrating Twist being free, and in the midst of them fighting, they ended up knocking over your art station. We saw you get upset, throw your painting into the pool because obviously it was.
To be fair, I threw it at Cree first.
Okay.
And then a producer handed it to me, and I threw it in the pool.
Got it. Okay. Well,
because it was ripped open. What was I going to do?
What can you do with it at that point? Exactly.
That's insult to injury. Like, what are you doing?
So once they got the fight under control, were you able to, did you even consider going back to painting, or were you just pissed off at that point? You were just like, F it, I'm not even going back to this. I'm taking my bond and I'm going home.
The painting was complete. The canvas was ripped completely.
No, I didn't know if you had like extra canvases after that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always keep an extra, but no, the party was pretty much done at that point because I just threatened a cameraman. There was a big knockdown, drag out fight. Cree was throwing pool balls. Like, you can't kill people with that. Right. You already built oversized, sis. Like, you don't need weapons. Come on. But realistically, I'm always minding my business. And that's a fact. I had to tell production that the other day, like, y'all making it seem like this is the one time Brianna minds her business. I ain't never started nothing with nobody. I never started no rumors. I didn't even perpetuate rumors. In fact, when there were rumors, I went up to people I considered my friend and was like, yo, so they saying X, Y, and Z. Is it true? Right. This was my attempt at giving, like Christinia, that was my attempt at giving her an out. She could be like, it's not true, dead it. But she chose to be mad at me, and now y'all want to drag me under the mud like I started the rumor. TT was the one who told everybody.
Right.
And I'm not trying to throw TT under the bus. It's on wax. It's you could go back and watch it.
You can rewind it. Exactly.
What I do is I talk shit. I make a bunch of jokes about things as they're told to me, and then I continue to live my life. Because in real life, I'm trying to raise a business, raise a baby, manage my love life, which is interesting.
Girl, you ain't even
if I had a show just about that,
that would be enough.
There's too many of them.
This is a shameless plug. Brianna needs her own show. We need to see who Brianna is outside of grown up hip hop, okay? Because I love Brianna. So who do you think was in the wrong for that fight?
Oh, absolutely, Cree and Savannah. Completely, 1000%. And I normally don't give my opinions on trivial shit like this, but what's funny is after everything went down, someone walked up to me with a producer and was like, I wanted to meet you. And I looked at her and was like, wasn't you just trampling on my art? Nigga, fuck you. This ain't the time. I don't want to talk to you. She was like, well, we know someone in common. I said, I don't give a fuck who say they know me. Because once I'm on, I'm on.
That's it.
She said one name and I went, oh shit, baby. I basically got on my knees and was like, I apologize, big homie.
I'm sorry.
Respect.
Right.
How you doing? So come to find out, me and Savannah have close ties. I'm sorry, Sequoia. Sequoia and I have close ties through affiliations and whatnot that are based solely on respect. So I was able to ascertain what actually went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And still unbiased, just getting the lay of the land, trying to figure out how it all started. In hindsight, like I had to call them the other day, Sequoia the other day, like, yo, I understand completely why you're mad. I feel like that was a setup. It was a setup from the jump. Like she didn't know Denise was pregnant. Denise said something that would start a fight anywhere.
Denise popped off with her.
Popped off. So
naturally
she responded accordingly. Also, she's new here. She don't know nobody and she's alone. And I wasn't there because I refused to go. I don't participate in pageant awards. For real, I didn't even know they were judging it.
Pageant awards.
I didn't even know they were judging it, or I wouldn't have sent my music. Like my art is everything to me. You feel me? And I don't even like really sharing that kind of work. Like it's real heavy to me.
Well, Erica say I'm sensitive about my shit, okay?
Well, she ain't never lied. She ain't never lied. I was ready to kill all them big ass bitches over this side. I forgot to say FaceTime.
So, speaking of your art, what are some pieces that you are currently working on?
I'm always working on some pieces. I've got like a forever plethora of pieces. I'm currently in my bedroom sitting on the floor like a little kid trying to hide from mine. But if I was in my office, I could show you one of my pieces I'm especially proud of. I have a 6-foot canvas and it's mixed media. So there's a painting, it's a woman's face on one side and she's crying a golden tear. And on the other side, she's purple, which represents like royalty.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, it's brown, but it's textured. And if you get close enough to it, you can see bill of sales for slaves, pictures of slaves, pictures of people just after slavery on the chain gang, pictures of Native Americans with slaves, like our history, right? And then a map of the Americas and the slave trade itself.
Wow.
And then I had cotton imported from the slave trade. It's a strain of cotton that our ancestors picked that is patented, and this white man, go figure, owns it. Bless his heart. Thank you for the blessing.
Right.
You cannot grow it. It's illegal. You cannot sell it. It's illegal unless you get it from him and he allows you to on a contract. Wow. But when we told him what I was doing, he sent some to me so that I could put it in this piece. And he sent me some seeds actually too. So I was just going to scatter them. I'm gonna be respectful. I just think it's amazing that I have that though.
Yes.
So that's the piece that I'm like the most proud of, and I'm taking my sweet ass time with, and it is 6 feet. So it's like it's
taking a large time, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to encase it in resin so that it lasts forever.
Yes.
I'm just trying to, I want to approach it properly so that I don't ruin the integrity of the cotton.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm doing my little research, take my time with my pieces, you know?
Well, when you finish that piece, I would love to see what it looks like, because
Absolutely.
that, I mean, just alone, I'm big on history, especially our history. So to hear the details of it and everything that you have incorporated into it, that is awesome. I'm going to be looking out for that piece myself specifically. So my next question for you, you genuinely care about your friends, including Boogie. You helped talk to Dame Dash for him. You supported him when he was going through all of his stuff with rehab. However, he has not reciprocated the same love and loyalty towards you. We saw that also on the show as well. Where do you and him stand right now as far as your friendship goes?
I'll let you watch this season.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Hopefully, I like y'all as friends. So I hope that you guys can work through your differences, because it really hurts me, especially me personally. I'm very loyal. I think that's why I also vibe with you in my head. Me and you are sisters. You know, some type of little vibe, my spirit animal. There you go. You're my spirit animal, something. Somehow we connect, because right. I'm very loyal to my friends as well. And so, you know, the same love and respect that I'm giving to you, I'm expecting that to be reciprocated, especially when I'm not around. So, right. Okay, well, we're going to be on the lookout to see what happens with you and Boogie's friendship on this season. What can we expect from this week's upcoming episode? And can you share any other spoilers with us from this season?
So I don't want to spoil it for you, because I totally, you know, after watching an episode the day before yesterday, I see why people are entertained, and I don't want to ruin the entertainment. I would rather you just watch it and enjoy it. You know, I'm grateful that I can be entertaining, while I do wish that I was allowed to express more of who I truly am, like the parts of me that they don't show. For example, when I was late today, my apologies, because I was on live, a young woman from London had asked me a question about being the black sheep in my family. And I was like, the fuck? So I went live with her and we got to talking. And that's why I chose to let her speak, because I wanted to see what she really meant. So I started answering her question. And then I realized, oh, this is a sister and she needs help right now. She's looking for guidance. So I spent approximately an hour guiding her, hugging her spiritually as she cried and told us all her story. And I think that's a part of me that no one really gets a chance to see unless you follow me on Instagram. I do talk a lot of shit on Instagram too, because it tickles my soul, honey. I'm sorry. I'm petty as hell.
It's entertainment.
I'm petty as hell. But realistically, like, there's a person living on my couch right now for free because he went through something and he needed somewhere to go. I ain't asked this man for nothing. It's there. You got it. That's always been the type of person I am. And I just wish that when you make your assessment about who you think I am, that all the facts are presented before you. I like law.
Okay. And you actually studied law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. See, I've been doing my research.
I'm still studying. It's a lot of laws, though. It's a lot of laws. I really be studying what pertains to me when I'm trying to get out of a situation with you.
Well, speaking of law, that was one of my next questions. You were on live when the police actually came to your house and you were actually arrested. Can you tell us a little bit about that situation?
Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. I was kidnapped from my home. If we're going to use legal definitions, I was kidnapped because I had not committed a crime and there were no warrants. There was no reason for them to cross the threshold of my home, even though they like to tell the tale that they had witnessed me brandishing a weapon. And because it was in their face, they had right to do that. That is inaccurate. I did not brandish a weapon. I opened the door and had a machete in my hand.
Because they didn't make their presence be known when you asked who it was, correct?
No one made their presence known. When I looked through the peephole, the police were hiding, and the girl who shouldn't be on the property who had been harassing me was standing in my door. Oh, shit. Sorry, girl. My phone was like,
you're good.
I'm dying. The girl who had been harassing me was standing there. So I opened the door and literally was like, how the fuck? I was going to say, how did you get here? But before I could, then I saw the gun and the police. It took me like a few seconds. I'm sharp, okay? But it took me a few seconds to process what was going on because, again, they hadn't announced themselves. So I really first thought it was the security from the building, and I was going to cuss him out till I saw the gun and then was like, yo. And then my son came out to see what was going on. And he's standing directly behind me. If you shoot me at point blank range, that bullet might go through me and murder my child.
My child, exactly.
So I'm screaming, my child, my child, my child, don't traumatize my child. If you go, listen, I ain't scared of shit. If you're going to take me out, fine. Don't do that shit in front of my son. He doesn't deserve that. So I went, they snatched me out of my home in my underwear, barefoot, threw me up against the wall. I screamed for the neighbor to come get him. I forgot she moved out that morning. So I screamed for him to lock the door because fuck that. I'm not leaving until somebody in my family comes to get him. You're not taking this woman. Let me tell you, I chose to be saved at 9. Now I'm not a Christian, but I like to lean on the fact that I chose to be saved. Because the way my brain was working in that cell, I said, listen, Lord, I don't talk to you very much, but I need you right now.
Right.
I'm having visions of the way I want to dismember her body with my bare hands. And I don't think that is appropriate. I mean, it's appropriate, but I don't want to be that person. I need you to remove.
Because then I'm really going to be in this jail cell for real.
I don't mind though. See, that's the part that scared me. I was sitting there thinking about it like, I'm finna go murder this bitch. And then I'm gonna sit and write a book about it so that my son could go to college. And then I'm gonna write a movie. And then I'm gonna write several other books about the history of why I became so ready to kill a bitch over some shit like this. I'm gonna figure out how to paint with broke down pens. Stop playing with me.
Look, I'm gonna figure it out one way or another.
Jail is a vacation. Ain't no bills. Ain't no bills.
There you go.
There's no bills. And I got friends in jail. I end up in the working dorm, so I could call me. Let me stop. The point is, I had to pray for the strength to not do what I wanted to do primally. So I came home and I sat literally in this one spot on the couch and I didn't move for like 5 days other than to feed my child and do regular, take care of him. I had to sit there and I called a couple people that know me, and they were like, please don't move. Please don't move.
Right.
Please don't move. You know God got you. She gonna get hers. Absolutely. Please, Brianna, please. Every time you think about moving, look at your son. And I was like, all right, that's fair.
Yes, especially when you got that young king looking up to you. You got to make sure you're doing the right thing and being the great role model that you are for him. Moving on a little bit more of your personal life. You've faced many adversities, including being homeless, living in your car, your drug addiction, but you have overcome that. What would you say to someone, either a young teen or adult, who is currently facing those adversities themselves, and just some word of advice to help them get through those tough times?
One, I want to correct something. I didn't have a drug addiction. I used to say that I did because that's what was told to me. I didn't have a drug addiction. I'm not a drug addict, never was. I did drugs because I wanted to numb the pain I was in. What I was suffering from was complex PTSD, a whole lot of trauma, okay? Emotional trauma, physical trauma. I was using drugs as a coping mechanism, the same way I use art now.
Got it. Okay.
The same way I use comedy now. It was a coping mechanism. For anyone who is suffering or struggling with anything like that, I encourage you to sit with yourself. As painful as it is, you can't get over it until you sit with yourself. And what I mean by sit with yourself is you got to really sit there and figure out who you are. Figure out who you were when you were a baby, who you are at your core, and then figure out who you want to be and make that shit work. But you can't do it when you're running around doing drugs. When you run it, some people use sex, when you run around sleeping with everybody. And then that's an energetic exchange. So is the drugs that just adds more BS to your life. And you don't need that when you're trying to clear your situation so that you can clearly make a vision for yourself and attack that with all the gusto. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, this is extremely important for anybody going through anything, emotional abuse or the leftover remnants of emotional abuse, because a lot of us, especially Black people, and especially Black women, we suffer from generational curses and whatnot and generational chains. Anyone struggling with any of that, again, I say know yourself first, because when you know who you were meant to be, then you can get back to that with ease. Well, with more ease. You're not as alone as you think you are, by the way.
Mm-hmm. This is very true.
You are not, I don't know a woman that hasn't been sexually assaulted, and that's a fact. Not
and
a woman of age.
That's a sad fact, but it's very true. Very true.
I don't know, especially Black women. I don't know too many Caucasians, but even the few I know, they got penitentiary scars too.
Right.
I don't know too many women who haven't bended to fit what they thought they were supposed to fit in order to be taken care of the way they felt they should be. And I really want to put a stop to that. So I've created like a sister circle. That's why I do what I do on Instagram, and people reach out. I do readings and whatnot. And I put all of us together so that we have other women we can talk to with full disclosure about what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of
I
people don't
think
reach
as
out for
women,
help
we
for
have to
care.
get in that space. Yeah, we definitely have to get in that space and being comfortable having those real, authentic, transparent conversations.
Without judgment though, and with full honesty.
Absolutely.
And that takes practice too, because I know I have a few friends who are judgmental as hell, but they judge themselves more than anybody else. I have judgmental tendencies. I make it a point though to be like, you can't judge that bitch, you smoke dope.
Great. Which is nothing wrong with it, but
you liked it too.
Look.
So, you know, I like I said though, I think it's imperative that we and it's not just for my women's, I think my men should get involved too, but me as a woman and seeing and knowing so many women and having so many reach out to me, trying to figure out how I'm such a pillar of strength with all the shit I be going through, it's important that I put myself in the center of them and go, look, it ain't as cute as you think it is.
I think it is. Hello.
That shit hurts. Shadow work hurts. Spiritual growth is painful. But ain't nothing worth having that doesn't hurt a little bit, that doesn't require some due diligence and some training and you have a support system. You just got to pay attention to where the support is and be humble enough to accept that shit.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not the nicest friend. I'm not. I'll tell you about yourself in a heartbeat. Like, bitch, you cheated on your husband. What the fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Good. I had it first. Also, stop sleeping with my sloppy seconds. But you love your husband. And if you don't want to lose him, put your pussy to work.
In that part. Put a lock on your box, okay?
Right.
Your father was married to Mary J. Blige. Can you tell us about your first time meeting her and what your relationship was like with her?
The first time I met Mary was actually hysterical. My dad had stopped at an ATM to pull out some cash, and I was sitting in this car, and I was like in a whirlwind of confusion because I was being sent back to California. I had beat some girl up for calling me a nigger, and it was the first fight the school had in 6 years. And my dad was like, "Yo, come on." And I was like, "All right." So I'm stressed. Whose car is this that we in? Why are we in the city? Where are we going? What's happening? And I look over and this big ass white truck pulls up and the window rolls down real cinematic like, and it's this big ass white fur coat. She just looked like Mary J. Blige on the album cover. Like, you know what I mean? Wow. And I think she was fresh faced too. And I was just like, oh, fuck. And she was like, oh, it's you. Hi, Briana. And I was like, what the fuck?
You know me?
You're Mary J. Blige. She was like, I've been waiting to meet you. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Like I'm freaking out a little bit. But I just thought, you know, we're humans. We're humans and we were family and we've been through things and we've shared things emotionally. I think that everybody has their own individual relationships with people. So naturally, my relationship with her would not be the same one that my little brother and or sister had with her. My relationship with her is not the same as my aunts or even my grandparents. And obviously not her husband or ex-husband now. But what she gave me was a lot of confidence that I needed. Like, one thing I really appreciate is every time I saw her, she'd be like, hey, pretty girl, do you know how beautiful you are? Which I really needed to hear back then. She also reminded me how highly intelligent I was and how ridiculously talented, which I also needed to hear back then. And even though it didn't register right away, once I hit my 20s, you first of all, right now, at 35, you can't tell me shit about me. Not a goddamn thing unless I asked you. Period. And even then, I take that shit with a grain of salt because I know who I am. When I wake up, when I go to sleep, when I masturbate, I didn't have to say that. I didn't have to.
I'm not mad. So look, self-love is the best love, okay? I am not mad at that at all. So we just saw you being a mom. How do you manage being a mom, an entrepreneur, and a reality TV star all at one time?
You just go fucking crazy. Repeatedly, every single day. You wake up with all of the intent. Okay, all jokes aside, I move with intent and purpose. When I wake up, I've decided what I'm doing. Whether it be nothing at all, going into my office at 4 a.m. and pulling a 20-hour day, spending the entire day with my son watching movies and playing games. Whatever it is, I try to give attention to each one of my endeavors. And I will absolutely tell the other endeavors to shut up and sit down for a second, period. If I'm giving myself self-love, my son knows when I'm in that bathroom, baby, I'm about to be here for about 6-7 hours, steaming and conditioning my hair, doing my whatever I need to do,
whatever
so I can
get
back
to
to feeling like me. And then when I come out, you got me uninterrupted, but you're gonna give me my time. The show knows, don't fuck with me and my child. You do not come before my child. Absolutely you do not come before my business.
Nothing. Okay, I get it.
So it is a balancing act, but it requires a lot of self-care.
So do you ever like plan out your weeks? Like once the week starts, do you have like a priority list? Do you set anything?
I don't play myself like that anymore. Okay. I used to. If you could look at my diaries from the last 4 years, they're so thick and thorough with plans and nothing ever works out. So what I do is I have a set goal in mind. Like if today I'm focused on my business, whatever that main goal is, that's that. Whatever my main goal with my son is, that's that. And whatever my main goal with myself is, that's that.
Okay. I like that. Simplicity.
And then anything else that I accomplish is just, frosting on the cake.
Extra. There you go. All right. I'm not mad at it at all. So speaking of entrepreneurship, is it true that you are actually coming out with a book?
Mm-hmm. I'm currently writing it with my therapist. Well, meaning I'm writing it and she reads it and tells me how fucking incredible I am. I love her so much for that. Because at first I was like, she be gassing me. I actually was about to fire her. I was like, I want a different therapist because I don't need you telling me how great I am all the time. Then I'm gonna get big-headed. And then I thought about it and was like, maybe you need to hear that shit.
Yes, that's okay.
Because she's not wrong. It's actually funny. Every excerpt I've ever read to anyone, they literally laugh out loud. And I don't think it's them trying to be polite. I think it's legit funny. Like I wrote a story about being dressed as a pumpkin and getting my ass whipped by a teenager and rolling around on the ground like a turtle on her back because the pumpkin had wires. Right.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
No,
I can just picture it in my head right now.
Yep.
On your back trying to get up.
The book itself is actually narrative therapy. So it's me working through my complex PTSD and my childhood traumas. But I do it in such a way that I can laugh at it too. So I expect you to laugh because what I don't want to do is put out some book that makes people go, oh my God, how tragic. Tragic, bitch. Have you seen me?
Right. Okay, baby, I'm fine.
Tragic. Tragic. I put my big girl panties on and I handled it every single time. So I hope that, or at least my intention is to make a book so good that it's funny like a Trevor Noah memoir, educational like what I imagine Oprah intends to do with some of her endeavors, and also relatable. Okay. Like I want someone to read it and go, okay, if she can do it, I can do it.
I can do it, right. So when do you have a date specifically or possibly in mind when you're thinking about releasing it?
I don't want to put a timeline on that type of work because it's such an actual work. I will say though that I'm getting through it far quicker than the first time I attempted to write it in 2016. Okay. Where I actually ended up spiraling because I didn't have the guidance of a therapist to help me through it. And memories started coming up that I forgot about. So I like freaked out and relapsed. But I'm 60 pages in. Okay. And that was only a week's worth of writing. So you can imagine it'll be out soon, likely before the summer.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep on watching your Instagram and waiting for you to start to promote that. Can you tell our viewers how they can follow you on social media and how they could possibly purchase some of your work, your artwork?
Sure. So I have a website, brianalatrice.com. My Instagram handle, my Twitter handle are both at Briana Latrise. That's BrianaLatrise. And also, I want to say this, I handcraft incense and I make candles as well. I have a myriad of things actually at House of Black. It's House of BLK. That website is linked in my bio on Instagram. Really quality products. 1 stick of incense burns 90 minutes. I'm very proud of that.
I actually saw those on your Instagram page, but I did not realize they were your products. So I'm going to have to go and support because I love a good incense. So I
hand make them, baby. I hand make them.
What can't you do at this point, Briana? You do everything.
Apparently twerk, but I'm going to work on that.
Look, we'll work on it together. When you figure it out, let me know, okay? Because I'm trying to figure it out myself. Well,
Got you.
thank you so much for your time. To all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out Brianna and the cast of Growing Up Hip Hop every Thursday at 9 p.m. only on WeTV. I am your girl, Miss J, and this was an exclusive with our girl, Brianna Latrise from Growing Up Hip Hop.